السلام بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم ألهمنا مراشد أمورنا وأعذنا من شرور أنفسنا. Environment plays a very great effect in the way people look at things, understand things. There was an era in Islam where outside the masjid it was a fiza, an environment of Islam. It was at that time that the non-Muslim who would enter into the world, into the country, he was told that remain as a non-Muslim but just pay the jizya, pay the tax. But it was known that because he was walking in the marketplace, the chance of him accepting Islam was very high. And that's what would happen. There was no need to conquer hearts. Lands were conquered. As for the conquering of hearts, they never needed any swords. It was character, it was seeing Islam. That was the time when environment was unique. And during that time, Allah Ta'ala had its own imtihan. And the people of Iman, the environment was wonderful, but there was an imtihan. We never saw that era. We grew up in the era when the environment was no longer outside. There was no Muslim judge. There was no Muslim market. There was no Muslim law. There was no understanding of Quran. The only thing that would happen in what we would call caves. It would happen in the cave of the masjid, in the cave of a khanqa, in a cave of a darul uloom. We call it a cave because once you would leave outside the masjid, environment is different. You would be in a madrasa, but once you would go outside the madrasa, you wouldn't see one law of the madrasa. You could be in a darul uloom discussing the laws about if someone has to steal, what will happen. But once you just go out of the darul uloom, you would never find that law. During that time, Allah Ta'ala has preserved Islam in what we call these caves. Allah Ta'ala, for the era that we live in, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam made indication to a surah of Quran, which is like in the middle. And how it was placed in the middle of Quran, as to show now this is like where it will come. Normally when a person is making his journey, and the journey comes very, very hard, and then you reach a certain point, after which you say, now you are going to be ready to go downhill. Downhill means the journey is now going to get very, very easy. In the tartib of Quran also, how the surah has come, right near the middle it was positioned. That the time will come where the ummah will have to go up, go up, go up. And that last part of climbing a mountain is not easy at all. Me and you are climbing that part. Our environment has become such, many a person thinks that as long as I grew up with Iman and Islam, and my child I put him in the maktab, he's learning hifz in the madrasa, now he has come out of the class, he read the Taraweeh, he's the Imam of the masjid. After that the person feels, I don't think now anything will grab him. But every day when me and you drink tea, we drink tea, but if ever you get the chance to make tea, you will see the white, the water that is so clean, which is known as the cleanser of every other dirt. The water that keeps its color no matter what. But if you just put one black tea bag in that water, and then you will just see how the effect of that black tea bag starts moving in the water. And if it is a hot environment, you're going to have black water. The devil created an environment around that even if me and you are white, even if we like water, but there will be a time when we're going to enter into something that is like the tea bag. It could be an environment of a university which is called free for all. That here your father, mother does not know what you're up to. Now no longer you in class during the whole day. You must cut your few hours, give your few hours, the rest of the time relax. You want to have lunch in the car, you want to have lunch in the canteen, you have to have lunch with someone. You are now a free man, your tea bag is with you. Now when you see that tea bag falling, The boy who yesterday said, I was so pure. And then he asked, but what happened to me? His friends took him to a party. It only took one drug. One drug was like the tea bag that made what was white yesterday black tomorrow. A man who is married and he got 3-4 children, he never ever thought life will change. One night he was just bored. His wife had gone to visit her mother, sitting with his phone, deciding to see what is there to see, what can keep me entertained. He pressed YouTube, he looked on the internet, he saw something, he said, interesting. Half an hour went, he pressed again, another half an hour went. Before his wife came, he was already hooked in the filthiest and the dirtiest of dens. That individual is thinking, what happened to me? One tea bag was all that it took. Just one drop and that entire nature of the thing changed. How easy it is to become dark in the era of darkness. For which reason Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would speak about it. He would say, Fitanun ka qita'il laylil muslim. Be ready to see such trials which are like the portions of the dark night. Portions of the dark night means there's not only one trial. There will be different trials. And for every person there will be something else pulling him. One person will be addicted to a drug. Another person will be caught in porn. One person will be addicted to the love of just making money, whether it's halal, whether it's haram. One person is traveling the world. Everyone is saying how lucky he is, always in the air. But he has an affair carrying on there high in the sky, where Allah's guna, no ever one thought will be made in the sky. This individual flies in the sky just to commit sin. Different people. But when they land, that individual thinks, once upon a time, how nice I was. What happened? So in this black environment, dark environment, the question comes, is there a way to become light again? Hazrat Moulana Ridhwan Saheb rahimullah gave the example of tea. He said when the tea becomes black and the individual thinks there's no way I'm ever going to change, he says then if he lands up in the company of someone pious, that individual says to him that you only need a little milk. That's all. He says 1-2 drops of milk and you'll see the entire color of the tea will change. And what was just yesterday known as, I'll never take this. He says that Sheikh can just drop 1-2 drops of sugar or honey. He can just make a little stir. And the person now is saying, can you give me more tea to drink? What was yesterday looked at that this is dirt suddenly became pure. What yesterday no one wanted to see suddenly became, I want to hug it. But to be able to come this, that in the environment where many things that are clear once upon a time became black, and to ensure that me and you don't, that we always have something moving within us, that if ever environment hits us, we got something else to put in. Whenever the tea bag comes onto us, we got milk to drop. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he spoke about the fitan, then he spoke about greatly from the time of Nabi Adam alayhi salam. He said Allah created no trial as severe as the trial of Dajjal. He said, no Nabi has ever warned his ummah in the manner I'm warning you. No one has the details in the manner we got the details. He spoke about signs we will see. He spoke about the different periods of Dajjal and a period known as Dajjal. A period known where agents will spread out a huge web, where no one will see the individual himself, Dajjal, but there will be so many agents working at his command. And an entire web. They could call it an then they said net. There was a reason why they had to put the net. Dajjal is a jinn, but he's a different jinn from other jinns. He's a jinn that takes the body of a human. So you have a connection between a jinn and a human. He has the nature of jinn, evil. He has the mind and the desire of a human. One of his main desires is he must be noticed. He has to be hidden. فَشَرُّ غَائِبٍ يُنْتَظَرُ. The worst thing to be waited for is Dajjal to come out. But he can't stay hidden also. Whenever his agent has to do something, he will make sure they will write something to make indication that I am also around. If they took out the he will put net. If they said the worldwide, he would put web. If he had to take out a gadget, then some way or the other he'll make indication to his being. Sometimes he will put an eye. $1 bill came in the world. They had to make a cover for the bill. Such a satanic cover was made that at that time in the Christian world of America, people looked and they said, what this got to do with our currency? But on the currency was a message to the world. There was a pyramid. Under the pyramid was a message. May the master be happy with what he sees. And it was written, may the task something be completed. Meaning maybe because it was called the incomplete or the incomplete pyramid. Going right to the top. One person commented on this, that the devil is so shrewd. Shaitan himself, that whenever they showed their picture, they even showed the real story. Whenever they showed their picture, when he put that pyramid, he even made sure it never completed. Making sure it never completed. On one day when all the people who die for Iblis and Dajjal, and their eyes open, and they worked so much to create the complete pyramid, that incomplete pyramid from his side was to say, I knew from the beginning, I will never defeat Allah, but I deceived you. The incomplete pyramid was a message to the world, I'm going to try to get high, but I also know I'll never get it. So many agents work. On top of that pyramid, you'll see one eye. That one eye is what they call, may the master be happy with the project that is taking place. This project, when it started, who knows? But we all know the $1 bill never came out yesterday. Over the years, people have seen that pyramid growing. It started very, very subtle, very, very big. And with the years going, this pyramid has now become smaller and smaller and smaller. As you come towards the end of the pyramid, getting ready for that shaitan to now show himself, to be able to expose and say to the world, accept me, be my follower, see my magic, listen to my talk. At that time, at the top of the pyramid, life becomes very tight. Me and you are somewhere very close to the top. Because of which, in the next few years, we will feel life is not like how it was a few years ago. At the bottom of the pyramid, there was still space. There was space for the individual to go to school and university. He would say, give me my space. He says, don't push me. Don't force me into doing things. The Imam of the masjid would say, you do your thing outside the masjid. Allow me to do my thing inside the masjid. The government would say that we got so many things to worry about. We're not going to force our principles upon you. But as that pyramid would grow smaller and smaller, now it would come a time where they would say our principles will be forced. And everyone will start feeling tight. Now the father wants to teach his child something, but the child says, oh my father, in the school I learned, you cannot tell me what to do, I will make my decision. They call it the right to choose, the right to speak, the right for freedom. The teacher wants to say something to the child, immediately the child will say, this is against my right. I have a choice to touch who I want to see what I want to talk how I want to. How dare you tell me what to do? Then the teacher went quiet. Then the father went quiet. Then the imam one day will come and they will say to the imam, the mimbar is yours but the principle is ours. The mimbar is yours but the principle is ours. They will say the constitution rules. Religion comes under the constitution. Church comes under the constitution. Deeni Taaleem under the constitution. What we allow you to say, no problem, say it. But as the pyramid gets smaller and smaller, they will say, and what we want you to say, you will have to say it also. Certain books will be brought into the syllabus. A father will look at that book. He will say, Wallah, I never thought ever in my school, at this age, my child will be exposed to this filth. I thought on the internet, I thought on the movies, I made sure there was no television. I made sure I never sent him to the cinema. I came home, I opened his school bag, I took out a book, I turned the pages, I saw a picture there. I said, if this is not pornography, then what is pornography? That type, as we are going closer and closer, when the environment with tea bags is filling everyone's water. At that time, everyone has to look for milk. If that milk is not given, that individual, we have seen so many, the boy was so good the other day, he took one thing which was called weed. Weed is like regarded as the baby drug, weed. But no longer it's a baby anymore. So much of side effects in that weed. We saw the marriage collapsing. We saw thoughts coming in his mind. We saw kufriyat, khiyalat coming to him. We looked at him that, where were you just a few years ago? Was it just one night that changed your entire life? It was one night. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he spoke a lot about fitan. When Sahaba radiallahu anh got worried, and they wondered then, what is the falah? What is the way out? Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam one time said, fitan, what and what trials? A Sahabi radiallahu anh said, oh Allah's Rasul, man najah? How will we survive? He kept quiet. Jibreel alayhi salam comes. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, oh Jibreel, man najah? How will my ummah survive? Jibreel alayhi salam goes back. He comes with an answer from Almighty Allah. He says, what Quran? This Quran is our milk. But this Quran has to be poured in. It has to be poured in such a manner that it is not only for Ramadan, because the tea bag can affect us at any time during the year. Ramadan was to bring us back to Quran. In Ramadan we feel so wonderful, but in Ramadan the tea bags are locked up. The worst, the rebellious shayateen don't have their time in Ramadan. Even that smart girl in school, she also puts on a scarf. She becomes an angel, a beauty angel in Ramadan. But when Eid comes, then she shows that she's still the same like yesterday. On the day of Eid, the shayateen open themselves up. And then for one more year, they got a chance. During that 1 year, we have seen that so many people start reading Quran in Ramadan. And as soon as Eid comes, when the demand of that Quran now was to start, that when you read Quran when there was no fear, now make sure you read Quran when the fear starts. We found when Eid comes, Quran closes. And then for 1 year, that environment makes that person again become changing color. He has to wait for the next Ramadan to give him milk again. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Al-Quran. We have to hold on to this Quran in a manner that it keeps us clean every day. So I will in this few minutes explain two. One is Qul a'udhu bi Rabbil Falaq. One is Qul a'udhu bi Rabbin Naas. These two surahs were revealed near the end. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, before these two surahs, he used to every day when going out, he was a Nabi of Allah. He had already said, every person got a shaitan. He said, but my shaitan has given up. Obviously, he said, my shaitan has given up. Faqad aslama. Where will his shaitan ever grab the Nabi of Allah? He said, mine has given up. Despite that, if you have to read the du'as he would make when he would leave the house. When he would leave, he would say, Allah, I seek your protection. I seek your protection from the devil grabbing me, from him pulling me from the right hand side, attacking me from the left, coming from behind, pulling me from under. He would say, Allah, I seek your protection that I slip, I make somebody else slip. He would say so many different words, how you would seek Allah's protection. A Sahabi radiallahu anh says, then Qul a'udhu bi Rabbil Falaq, Qul a'udhu bi Rabbin Naas were revealed. He says, on these two surahs it seemed that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam left all his other words now. And now he began reading these two surahs. The beginning of that surah, Qul, say, meaning me and you, A'udhu, I ask to enter in the protection of my Allah. A'udhu, someone comes running, dogs are chasing, evil elements are behind. He says, I just need to get to that fort. From far he's screaming, open the door, open the door. And as that door starts opening, he knows, I just need to make it in the door. When I'm in that fort, whatever happens outside is not going to touch me. Every day man was told, ask Allah to allow us to enter into his fort of protection. A'udhu bi Rabbil Falaq. That Allah, who every morning, in your country you will never see it, because you all don't see darkness. So you all don't see night. So even if I go out now, it will still be the sky is there. But if you go to the normal world, at night it gets dark. That darkness spreads like how darkness has spread in the world today. But in the morning at about 4 o'clock, you will see one light. That light, we say, it breaks through the darkness. That is called dawn. Falaq is the breaking. Every morning when the individual looks at it, and he says, that Allah, who allowed light to break through every darkness. And then as that light starts spreading, it's like pushing away the darkness, pushing away, pushing away. The man looks at it and says, Allah, as you did it to the night, do it to the darkness around me also. I seek the protection in the one who breaks the darkness by bringing in dawn. He must break the darkness of my life by bringing in light. A'udhu bi Rabbil Falaq min sharri, from the evil of whatever has been created. During the day, he is going to use what's created. People are created who have evil. Items are created. Gadgets are created. The phone is going to come in his hand. The phone is going to come in the child's hand. The child is very young. The mother will say, do something to keep him company. The child will press a button. Either it will be music. The angels will move away. The jinnat will come closer. The mind of the child is so innocent. If there is no angel looking after that mind, very soon that child is going to be a play in the hand of the jinn. But the child got the phone. He plays around a little, a cartoon comes. Now he's watching Batman. He's watching Superman. His mother comes past, she looks at it. She says, harmless little cartoon. But no cartoon is ever harmless. While that cartoon is carrying on, when no one is looking, that child is paying attention. The mind of the child is so unique. Even if that Superman has to only 1 minute go in the church, that child will pick up, Superman went in the church. He'll never see Superman making sajda to an Allah. And in today's time, Allah save all our children, he might even see Superman kissing Batman. And the child will look at that, and the mother will just walk past. When the child wonders that how did my hero kiss Batman? And that one thought will sit in that mind. From the evil of whatever is created, the mother never saw it. Who was going to protect that child? That child will start going further. Now the child got tired of cartoons. Now he's playing on YouTube. Now he's seeing so many scenes. Every time the mother comes, he's watching soccer. But every time the mother is not there, he's not watching soccer. He's playing, he knows more than the parents. And sometimes the father cannot even tell him because the father is also watching. And sometimes the mother won't say. New things will be created. A time is going to come, we might see it, it's called the metaverse. Then they're not going to be looking at a gadget, they're going to be putting over their face. Now they will be like an alien in the house. You'll see the child, he'll look at his mother, he'll have a machine. Mother will look at the child, she'll got a machine. The father walks in the house, he got a machine. Everyone is in their own room. At that moment, where's the father? He's doing business in Dubai. He is in his world, metaverse. Where's the mother? She's meeting her family in America, her world. Where's your child? My child at the moment is gone out with friends in the club. Everyone is in one house and they're all in a different world. At that time, no one knows whose mind is where from the evil of whatever is created. As the world will go, we will hear something called Vision 2030. You will hear the city of Neom, the city of the future. You will hear someone saying, I'm going for Umrah. I heard the ticket is so cheap. I'm just going to land in Neom. You know what's Neom? Said, never heard it before. He said, Dubai is 100 times beyond. This is Jannah on earth. And if the ticket for Umrah is cheap, who won't grab it? But when he will land in Neom, and Neom is being made at a very fast pace. When that individual lands, he will see fresh air. He will see wonderful waters. He will say, I would love to live here also. He will look around, he will see there's no masjid. He'll say, it doesn't matter, I'll read salah in my house. He'll say, there's no madrasa. He say, it doesn't matter, my child will study online. He'll say, what a safe environment. And some Muslims will start living in the city. Rasulullah says that when Dajjal will come with his gardens, that man who will enter the garden will find himself at the ending in the fire of Jahannam. We are going to see examples of the gardens from the evil of whatever is created. Min sharri ma khalaq. وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبْ. Beyond this entire system, there is darkness. When darkness comes, غَاسِق means darkness falls on the mind. Abdullah bin Abbas radiallahu anh said, this mind is called aql. Aql means something that locks you up, that stops you. But when something covers the mind, you say, where's your aql gone? That thing that covers the aql is called غَاسِق, darkness. From the evil, وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ, from the evil of darkness when it envelopes. Abdullah bin Abbas said, when it envelopes the mind. Meaning what? A man is sitting in front of the internet. He is doing his harmless work. He is sending in his messages. He is answering his emails. And then he sees something. At that moment, he forgets I'm a married man. He forgets I got 4 children. He forgets I got only a few years to live. He forgets I got a choice between Jannah and Jahannam. Something covers his mind at that moment. And he makes a decision which later on he rules it for the rest of his life. One decision, and it can cause a man, Allah forgives immediately, but the world don't forgive. One decision. وَمِن شَرِّ Allah, I do not want darkness to ever envelope my mind. وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبَ وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ. They are witches operating from behind the scenes. In everything that we're using, they are blowing. This is very hard to explain. There's no time to it. And there is no real, if you come to me, say, what's the proof? But it is something that every gadget that we have comes with its sihr. Every gadget that we use, it comes with a small amount of witchcraft. There was a book one time which was known as Harry Potter. I would never have taken this name in this masjid. These are not names to take. But I entered certain houses. I saw Harry Potter on one side and Mishkat on the other side. It hurt me so much. But I could not tell the person, if only you know Harry Potter. If only you know that a witch was the one who wrote this. I said, forget her writing. Even in this book there is sihr. Even in the book. Her job was to expose a new era. Young children who read that, they became so absorbed in the world of the shayateen. Something had grabbed them and pulled them. There is a little sihr in some of the novels we read. There is a little sihr in some of the gadgets. That sihr sometimes shows itself. They'll say, now he got cancer. Now he got a sickness that we don't know. Somebody else will say, I took him to the Amil. The Amil said he got witchcraft, jadoo, black magic. Then they say, who made it? They say, we asked the jinn. The jinn said that other auntie who lives in that town, she made it. We will say, no auntie is now making sihr. Now there are major witches that are blowing. They are blowing on our food. We call it contaminated. They are injecting our chickens. What we're eating at the moment, the doctor might just tell you, you know that sickness you got, it's because of what you're eating. There is physical harm in what we eat. There is spiritual harm in what we eat. They're blowing on water. There was a reason why the system was such. Once upon a time, people lived by water. They would take their own water. They did not want that you must live far away and we will bring water for you. Wherever the devil wanted to make khidmat of mankind, they brought water to me and you so that they could be in charge of what type of water will come to me and you. If anything has to be put in, they got an open hand in it. In the food we eat, in the gadgets we use, for which reason we tell people, the phone, don't keep it too close to your ear when you're going to sleep. Let the last thing you do, read Quran. Put the phone away. It could be your alarm clock, but put it under somewhere. That individual who started putting the phone out of his room, he said he started getting good sleep. Keep the phone in your pocket too long, it will harm your heart. Go to a Hakim, tell him touch your pulse. While the phone is by your heart, you will get a different heartbeat. Tell him take the phone away and touch your pulse, you will get a better heartbeat. This thing comes with its physical harm. We have to use it. Nobody else was given this power like what we has. That, oh Allah, I seek your protection. Witches are blowing so much into the gadgets of what we use. I need to use the gadget. I want to be protected from the witchcraft around. وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّا. From the protection, from the evil of those who are blowing when they blow. Only me and you got قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. A time came, however, we forgot to start using it. We left it out. وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ. There is one individual who burns with jealousy. Always when we think jealousy, I think my brother is jealous of me. He's also jealous. The king of jealousy is Iblis. From the beginning jealous of Adam alayhi salam, till the ending will be jealous. Ready to come out of paradise in his jealousy. I seek protection from the one that is most jealous, meaning from the devil himself. That individual who reads the surah in the next, then he reads it 3 times each. He blows in his hands. He has found the doors of Allah's fort opening up. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam then would rub. How he would rub? He would start with his face. He taught us even how to put the magical potion over us. He would start with his face. He would rub hard on the head, because the sihr of the devil normally hits the mind. Then it goes into the heart. He would rub over the chest. He would take it in the front, and then as far as his hands could reach in the back, he would do this. He did it after saying, my devil has given up. Meaning, if his devil had given up, he was doing it to show me and you. Me and you need to enter into that fort. This is our milk. May Allah Tabarak Ta'ala allow. I know it is late. For me it is difficult. A message is given. May Allah reward you people. At what time in the night? I never thought in my life I'll be giving bayans 12 o'clock at night. Only happens in England. Only in England. Allah reward you people. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam one time came in the masjid. He saw some Sahaba. It was late. I thought of it when I came here. He said, when everyone else is sleeping, you are in the masjid. What a gift it is to be so late. From this gift, may Allah Tabarak Ta'ala allow that Qul a'udhu bi Rabbil Falaq, Qul a'udhu bi Rabbin Naas becomes part of our life. Once a day we make sure 3 times we read it. We blow over our body and we tell our children it's not a hard surah to read. They must do it. Then when they go in that environment, Allah inshallah will keep all protected in that fort. Evil will not come. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Sallallahu ala nabi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.